Hey, all you cool cats. Ready for a little fun? That's what I thought. Pop Talk. Scooby-Doo-Wah-Doo-Wah. Pop Talk. The fun never stops, you know. Pop Talk. If you're a nerd or a jock, run, don't just walk. Get ready to rock. You got Pop Talk.
Now, from Funko Hollywood, it's time for Pop Talk.
Hey guys, welcome to this special episode of Pop Talk. Our guest today is Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Well done. Yeah. So many different pronunciations.
Thank you for being here. We're very excited to have you. As I'm asking you questions, how would you feel about building your own pop? And then we'll take a look at it at the end of the interview. Okay, ready? Hard-hitting question.
Yep.
Do you collect anything?
Yeah, some signed baseballs, some signed jerseys. My background was motocross. My brother is still in that industry.
Oh, cool.
And so he gets me jerseys there. I have a lot of baseball friends now because I did a show on Fox called Pitch back in 2016. So I've met a lot of baseball people and started asking. For me, it's like the asking part. I just asked for a jersey from a Dodger because my friend works in the organization. I felt so silly asking.
Yeah.
I just felt like, I just felt creepy and weird.
But most of the time people are into it. Most
Yeah,
of the time it's like,
I guess,
sure.
but I felt like a trade. It's like, if you give me your jersey, I'll give you a signed Saved by the Bell, Letterman's jacket. I don't know. I was like, what can I give you? Because I just felt so awkward taking something from him.
Yeah. You said your brother. You just mentioned your brother's still in the industry of
Motocross.
Motocross.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. He's considered a GOAT, the greatest of all time, as a mechanic for motocross. Like he has, his name's Mike Gosselaar. And he has had some pretty special riders, Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, and he's substantially older than me. I'm gonna look right in the camera as I say that. He's 16 years older than me.
Okay.
And he's semi-retired, but he still gets contracted to do stuff.
And then you also love cars, right?
I like cars. I started off in motocross because of my brother, and then I transitioned to cars. That's way too expensive. Started racing bicycles and got pretty good at that. And then, kids, you gotta spend time with your kids and your family. So
absolutely.
Gave that up, but I'm starting to see the light again.
So have you ever been able to incorporate that into any roles that you've done?
Yeah, I've done some car scenes, I've done my own stuff. I like sort of doing my own stunts. A lot of stunt guys are into motocross and in that industry. And I used to race against the stunt guys and be faster than some of the people that would be my stunt double. So I took pride in that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered with stunts, do you have to sign like a special, is it like?
No.
Your agent's not on the phone?
No, they don't want you to.
Okay.
They honestly don't want you to. It's weird because when I have a podcast that we talk about Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
And it's called Zach to the Future. So I watch the shows and then I'll comment about them. But one of the things that I noticed that we used to do all our own stunts. Like there's a fight scene, iconic fight scene between Mario and myself, Slater and Zach. And he throws a punch, I throw a punch, I hit the locker, then he flips me over himself because he was a wrestler in real life.
Yeah.
We weren't wearing pads. Like there was no stunt coordinator. Now, even if you I did a show on ABC called Mixed-ish, and I'm supposed to scare my wife, and she doesn't know, and she hits me with her purse. And all it was like this simple hit, and I dropped to my knees.
Yeah.
Even for that, they were like, no, we gotta have a stunt double, and we gotta put pads on you. If you're gonna drop to your knees, we need pads. I'm like, wow, the environment has completely changed.
It has changed. You were just talking about Mixed-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that whole series, like starting with Blackish and then Grownish and then Mixed-ish. We watched as a family. What'd you think of that role? How was that?
I'm so disappointed that didn't go more than 2 seasons.
Me too.
I really felt being in that world, the ish world, that we were just gonna be on forever. Great cast, great writing, some really special, talented people to work with. You generally, like going into projects, you have a sense of, okay, these are the right people, it's the right space to be creative in, this is gonna go. And then when they don't go, you're like, wait, all right, let's reconfigure here. And then, when you do that a few times, you're like, wow, you become a little shy about what to take next.
Of course. When you started out, you were super young, and Saved by the Bell was, of course, how long did that?
That span? So I started when I was 4 doing print work.
Yes.
And then I got my SAG card when I was 10. Saved by the Bell was when I was 12, close to 13.
Do you remember that audition?
I do remember that audition because I wanted to be a Marine growing up. Yeah, my dad's friend was a Marine, and he was like my hero. He was like the guy I wanted to be when I grew up.
Of course.
His name was Dave. Even that name, Dave. Yeah. Dave the Marine. So I wanted to be a Marine, and I went to a Marine Military Academy. And when I got back, it was a 2-week thing. My head was shaved, and I had an audition for Saved by the Bell. My hair was starting to grow back. My mom put in, sun-in into your hair, or lemon, or just stand out in the sun with this stuff on. And so I did that. So when I went in for Zach Morris, my hair was a little bit shorter and kind of highlighted. And they were like, that's the character.
Wow.
And so I got it and ended up not going to military school. And
what a shift.
What a shift. Yeah, I wanted to go to that school also to, they had a great football program. It's like that, I thought that I was going to be an athlete and not an actor. I was doing acting because it was like it was an after school.
Yeah, something, a hobby.
A hobby, right. It was like going to Little League or Pop Warner. It was just like something we did. I never thought of it as a career until probably the end of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
And I was an adult at that time.
Yeah.
And had bills to pay and realized, oh wow, this acting gig kind of pays well, and I can kind of live the lifestyle I want to live. So I continued.
Are you still having fun though?
I have fun when I'm on set. I love working. I love working with the people. Least favorite is wardrobe fittings and doing press.
Okay.
Like I think I get paid for wardrobe fittings and for doing press. The rest of the stuff I might do for free.
Wow.
Just don't tell anybody. But I'm still having fun. I'm having fun playing characters. I'm still being offered and being able to go out for roles that that challenge me and
good.
And,
That's great. If there was one role you could revisit, if you only had the one choice of doing that one role for the rest of your career, do you know what it would be?
Yeah. I wish the character of Mike Lawson on Pitch, I wish I could have
continue.
I would have loved to retire with that. I mean, I've had a run of things that I really have liked. I loved NYPD Blue. As a show and as and just every day showing up was when I was working with Breckenmeyer, and we were on Franklin and Bash.
Twice the lawyer you guys will ever be. You keep packing on the pounds and you will be. Look at that.
We really enjoy each other's company and
good energy.
And Franklin and Bash. But in terms of like a show, Pitch was pretty special.
That's
and
cool.
Pretty special people, and I don't know. Maybe Brecken could have played a agent on that show because he could not play a baseball player.
No shade.
I mean, Mookie Betts is pretty short, but not as short as Brecken.
Yeah.
Altuve is pretty short, not as short as Brecken. Just saying. He's not going to see this, right?
So you were talking earlier about your podcast. What made you want to go down that road?
People kept asking, like, are you going to do a podcast about your show? And I'm like, I don't know.
I figured it was the fans,
It was just, because I was very content never to have to go down that road. We were considering doing the reboot. Tracy Wigfield was a part of that. She's amazing. The people involved were awesome. How it turned out, I'm so proud of. But I didn't want to do anything that would tarnish the original product.
Screech.
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 If I were to do something like that, the best thing would be to get the guy who wrote Zach Morris's Trash, who created that show for Funny or Die.
Yeah.
That was my co-host, Dash O'Driscoll, and together, him being a huge fan of the show, but having a different spin on it, we were able to sort of, take the piss out of it, and it was just a little easier.
Childhood influences or inspirations? Anybody who led you down this path, or even the sports? I know you mentioned your dad.
Man.
You looked up to your dad a lot.
Yeah, I looked up to my dad. His work ethic was amazing. My mother too. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, but she drove me to every audition and was there on set with me all the time. And my dad we lived in the valley, and he would have like a 50-mile drive to one way to where he worked, and you know, he was out the door at 5 and wouldn't make it back until 7, and he was just a hard worker. Different times, you know, and I really looked up to his work ethic. I think that's one thing that we all have, my brothers and sisters included. We all are in our own way really hard workers.
Yeah.
And enjoy working.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the rapid fire questions?
Sure.
What did you dress up as for Halloween as a kid?
My least favorite was when my sisters dressed me up as Raggedy Ann, and we still have photos.
Yes.
So yeah. And then my favorite when I was growing up was Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
I had the whole thing, and
nice.
yeah,
Scared all your friends.
that was my thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Favorite all-time movie?
Favorite all-time movie? Big Lebowski.
Good one.
Yeah.
Burgers, tacos, or pizza?
Burgers. I love burgers. There's so many good places to have burgers. There's really good places to have everything. But burgers, yeah.
It's a little bit of everything in a burger.
There's just so much goodness in a burger.
Yeah. Favorite song?
I mean, band-wise, I still remember growing up, like my first tape that I bought, you know, and I had the yellow Walkman.
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah,
flip
we
down
had
the
that
thing
too.
and click it down. Yeah.
Yep.
My first one that I like played over and over was Beastie Boys.
Favorite cartoon as a kid?
I grew up in the time, and you know, they're not politically correct, but a lot of the you know, Wile E. Coyote and Pepe Le Pew and all those things, that I grew up watching those. I understand why they're sort of offensive, but
Yes.
I grew up watching those because that's what was on. Woody Woodpecker.
First car?
My first car, so my first, I think, car that I ever bought was like an Oldsmobile.
Okay.
But the license plate did say 4MPG, so, you know, I was young.
Wow.
My first car that I could drive was a Ford Mustang, a 5.0.
Did you play video games when you were younger?
I did. I wasn't allowed to have video games until I was like 18, and then I bought my own system. I was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I used to love video games. Still do. I was playing my Switch yesterday. I was playing Luigi Mansion 3.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I don't know. I think Superman's kind of got it right, minus the outfit.
You don't like the outfit?
No, I like the current one. The old one, man, it was like he was wearing pajamas. But I kind of like his powers, minus, I guess, the kryptonite thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To be invincible, strong, fly.
All of those things.
I'll take that.
Cool.
Shoot lasers out of your eyes.
Place you'd want to travel that you haven't been to yet?
Indonesia, because my mother was born there and we never went to Indonesia.
Favorite breakfast cereal growing up?
Anything. I mean, really, cereal is awesome.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms,
Yeah.
Fruit Loops, Honeycomb, yeah, just all of it.
Honeycomb. I can see it now. Honeycomb is so sweet and crunchy.
What's it like being popped?
It's pretty damn cool. I gotta say, I only have one box that a fan bought for me recently, by the way, like literally recently at a Comic-Con, somebody bought one for me. And I was like, no, you can't do it. It's actually pretty expensive, I think, my pop. They're really hard to find. They're kind of expensive. And I wanted to like buy, but they wouldn't let me. So they gave it to me. So I have one of these in my office, and I actually have one of these out of the box, and I don't know where I got it from. But it's really cool. And like it's stuck. The cell phone is what makes the pop for me.
Yeah.
The detail, that jacket, and the color of the shirt. It's like, that's quintessential Zach. I think that's first season though, and the watch.
Pretty cool.
He got everything right on that. It's awesome. And the Converse. It's a good representation of that character.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my pop doll.
Yay. All right, back to the characters that you made today.
You gotta do it this way though. 'Cause
Okay.
I think that's the title of the show. Franklin and Bash, It's a Law Show. You know, we're so goofy that I'll take, I don't know if you've ever been in a men's restroom, but there's urinals.
I have been.
You've seen, right? It's pretty shocking. You're like, whoa, I'm in the wrong place. Yeah. And then you back out slowly. But in a urinal, in our restrooms, there's urinals and they'll have different size ones. Yeah. And I'll always take photos of the smaller one and the bigger one. And they have to be like this. They have to be Franklin and Bash. But I will always do that, and I send them to Brecken, and I send them to our producer. I literally just did that the other day. I was in a agency's building, and I literally, an agent walked in as I was doing it. I'm like, no, I'm just taking a photo. This is for Brecken Meyer, and it was just, I got myself in a deeper hole.
I love it.
But yeah, if anybody has photos like that, please send them to Brecken. He loves it. He's on Twitter. Brecken Meyer at Twitter. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. That wraps up this episode of Pop Talk. Thank you so much, Mark Paul. It was a pleasure. You're a lovely human and a great actor, and we're so happy to have you here
Thank
today.
you so much. I appreciate it. Anytime.